Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Poulin. I'm from San Francisco, California. I serve as the Battalion S4 of the 124th Corps Cadets. I stand here before you today talking about my past 2 years, my evolution, and my story about St. John's. The day has finally come, the day I graduate high school and get thrown into a different realm of society. When I look back 4 years as a naive young freshman, still going to Palo Alto High School in the Bay Area, a beautiful, stunning place to live, and where there are no such thing as tornadoes. I didn't know just how lucky I was. My high school career started with an image where grades and homework were not the priority, but having a social status, a reputation, and rebelling against anyone that told me otherwise were at the top of my list. The relationship with my family deteriorated and withered away, only to be replaced with activities a young man with my kind of potential shouldn't be involved with. I was crawling along my first 2 years of high school, barely passing classes, skipping school, simply not caring. I was living some of the memories I'll never forget. Summer of my sophomore year was one of the highest points in my life, but it quickly turned around into a disaster because of my own behavior. Somehow I found myself on a plane headed towards a new school in Kansas. I thought leaving my friends and family was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. But truthfully, I didn't know what hard was until I reached the gates of St. John's. I remember the day vividly. It was sunny and humid out. The air smelled distinctly of manure. My mother and I walked into the administration office in Linger Hall. I stood next to her as she finished signing some papers with another person. After they were done, the man stood up and looked at my mother and I. "This is where you say goodbye," he said. It felt like the first day of kindergarten again. I didn't want to go. I was scared and unsure. My mother and I looked at each other, and she gave me a hug like I've never felt before. I picked up my stuff and headed out into the new world, looking back over my shoulder to take one last glimpse of the woman that cared for me since the start, knowing I would miss her more than anything. I walked into JVH, where in the next 6 weeks I would learn a new meaning of hell on earth. New boy. It was indescribable going through it, simply impossible to define. It's different for everybody. Some people find themselves and learn the meaning of control and self-discipline. Some people just get through it, and the remainders are left to find themselves in a different place. At first, I merely just got through New Boy, taking my junior year one day at a time, because for me, that was the fastest way to get through it. Get back home and forget all about military school forever. But somewhere along the journey that I call my junior year at St. John's, I found myself not hating every single day I woke up in the bunk beds of JVH. My friends were the people that made this place tolerable at first. And it is also one of the greatest reasons I returned for my senior year. People like Arjun, Chaz, Daniel, Sam, Quentin, and Greg have always been there for me, even if I wasn't there for them. It are the bonds you make here with other cadets that make everything so memorable. Everything that happens, right or wrong, fun or miserable, there's always another person going through it with you. But the faculty and staff are also deserve the respect they earn by taking care of us. It's a tough job trying to understand and handle our problems. Ms. Krause is one of the best and most dedicated examples of this. As a teacher, she has spent so much of her own time helping myself and many other people. Without her, comprehending the school and chemistry would have been nearly impossible. As of right now, I could go into the world with a high school diploma, a suitcase of clothes, and a drive to succeed. But no matter how smart you are, no matter how skilled you are at something, there is no direction, there are no results. My parents have always given me direction, Whether I have chosen to use it or not is the test I face. My father especially has always tried to force direction on me for some reason. Not long ago, I discovered what this purpose was, and it was for life. He has always recited the traits of a good person to me. Don't lie, cheat, or steal from anybody that you love or loves you, except cops. My mother, too, has always influenced me to be whomever I wanted, and has supported me with everything that I have ever done. And for this, I love and thank you both. I would be absolutely nothing that I am today without you two. I can't say I've learned everything I know directly from St. John's. Most of what I've mentioned was already in me, gently placed in my conscious by my father, before I even knew it was there. It just took a serious change in direction for me to figure out everything I needed was already there. This is one of the ways I tolerated this year. Coming in as a member of battalion staff only as a second year was a daunting assignment. Every day trying to set the example and be perfect took its toll on my morale throughout the year. But every day I pushed on, did well in school, and even influenced a few friends to start lifting. I guess they felt small in comparison. Thank you for everyone that believed in me, believed I could make it through. Thank you to my mother and father that made this entire experience possible. Thank you to all my brothers that were there for me during the thick and thin. These past 2 years have changed my life forever. Have a good night, everyone.